Hi friends, this is Selvijang here. Welcome to my networking channel. Hope all are doing good. And today the topic I'm going to discuss about how to set up VQFX in Juniper. So the setup is a little bit simple, but once you know the basic steps, it will be very easy to set it up. So what is VQFX? It supports the switching capabilities. All the switching functions we can configure in Juniper. So this is nothing but a VQFX switch. So there are two engines which is required for this particular setup. One we call it as an VQFX RE, what we call it as a routing engine, and VQFX PFE, that is a primary forwarding engine, and both should be connected by an ETH1 interface. Okay, so that's the basic things you have to know. And this interface setup is, there are E0 we are using for the management interface, and E1 is a interface between VQFX PFE and RE, that is between routing engine and primary forward engine. We have to connect by E1 interface. Okay, and E2 is an unused interface. And what about E3? E3 is equal to XE 0 by 0 by 0. This XE is nothing but a 10 gigabit interface. So for example, so here this is, I have connected E3 interface to P1. That means you have to configure this interface. That is, just keep it in mind, 3 minus 3, that is 0, XE hyphen 0 by 0 by 0. Why? Because since the three interface we are already utilizing, right? So management interface, one is an unused, and E1 is the interface between PFE and RE. So that is the reason E3 is equal to XE minus 0 by 0 by 0. And if it is E4, it is XE hyphen 0 by 0 by 1. XE is a 10 gigabit interface. So these are the key points you have to keep it in mind. And let us now check the settings. Okay, what are the basic settings you have to set for both the routing engine and the primary forwarding engine to function properly. Okay, so now let us go to the configuration. So first of all, always check the RAM for both RE and PFE. So I already mentioned over here. So RAM for PFE and RE always should be greater than 1024 MB. Okay. So in my case, I have set the RAM is like 1560 MB. It is more than like 1000, right? So go to configure option and let us check this. This is a RAM. I have to set it like 1560, or it is like 1500, more than 1000 MB you have to set it. Okay. So that's the purpose of RAM. And also you have to check for PFE. PFE also you have to set like more than 1024 MB. Okay. And comparing to vCPU, that is a virtual CPU for RE and PFE. At least you have to set the number of CPU to 2 in routing engine, and for PFE it should be 1. Okay. So these are the basic setup you have to do, otherwise it will not function properly. Okay. So for example, for RE I have set the number of vCPUs 2, minimum it should be 2, and PFE you can set it to 1 to 2. Okay. So you can also set like 1 or 2. So the minimum we have to set 1 vCPU. And also we have to check the number of adapters for RE and PFE. So RE, at least minimum we have to set like 14 adapters. Let us go here and let us go to configure mode, and network you can see that you set it to 14 adapters. And also another one more thing you have to set is, what is the network type? It should be para virtualized network. So you have to set it this adapter, otherwise it not work properly. Okay, the adapter number is 14 and para virtualized network adapter. Okay, so then what we have to do is, we have to set the number of adapters to 2 here actually. So let us go here, go to the configuration mode. So the number of vCPU is 2 and RAM is more than 1000 MB, and the network adapter is number is 2, and this one you set it to default value, like don't do any changes, let it be like the default value. Okay, so the only option you have to set is in routing engine. So the routing engine should be para virtualized network, and the number of adapters is 14, and the vCPUs should be 2. So here the vCPUs should be 1, and also here the number of interfaces, Ethernet interface, we have to set it to 2, because there is one Ethernet 1 and Ethernet 0. Okay, so let us go here, go to configure, and the network we have to set it to 2. Okay, so because you are using E0 and E1, so E0 is like for a management interface, and E1 is an interface setting between PFE and a routing engine. Okay, so these are things you have to keep it in mind. And also final step is, we have to check the reachability between the routing engine and the primary forwarding engine. So what does it mean, reachability? So now let us log into the routing engine. Okay, so this is a routing engine, I have set it up. So this has a particular IP. What is IP? Is run show configuration display set, let us match by 169. So this is the default IP settings for PFE, that is RE, that is 169.54.0.2. This is an RE, and this will be always default setting. So this setting you should not remove, because otherwise there will be, if there is no communication between routing engine and the primary forwarding engine, so the interfaces will not come up. Mainly the XC interfaces will not come up. Okay, I will show you shortly. So okay, so that's the first thing you have to keep it in mind. So this IP is 169.254.0.2 for routing engine, and for the primary forwarding engine, after logging in, you have to do a IF config. Okay, so just like a Linux base, this is primary forwarding engine, and IP is 169.254.0.1. Okay, so now we have to check the reachability between primary engine and forwarding engine. How to check is, from the Linux and primary forwarding engine, just do a ping 169.254.0.2. So this I am pinging from routing engine, this primary forwarding engine to routing engine. So this engine is .01. I am pinging the other end. Okay, I'm able to reach. So first you have to check the connectivity. So otherwise you have to do at least reboot. I would at least reboot this primary forward engine or routing engine if you're not able to reach, and you have to do simultaneously routing engine or a primary forward engine based on the reachability issues. So from here I have to check run ping 169.254.0.1. So I'll be able to reach both the routing engine and the primary forwarding engine. Okay. So once the interfaces are come up, then now let us log into the routing engine and let us check the interfaces. So run show interfaces stars. Okay. So what happened, right? In the first thing, after boot up, you will see, you will not see these interfaces are up. You will see only the basic interfaces like GR interface, and only these interfaces will be up. BME and all EM interface. Okay, these interfaces will come up first of all. Then after boot up, it will take minimum 10 to 15 minutes. In some machine, it will take more than 20 minutes for coming up this 10 gigabit interface. Okay, before this 10 gigabit interface, first you will see this interface will come up. So first I told basic EM interfaces will come up first. Second thing, you will see the primary forwarding interface will come up, and after a few minutes you can see this interface will come up. These are nothing but a 10 gigabit interface. You can, how you can check is, just do a run show chassis FPC pick status. So it will show here pick 0 48 10 gigabit SFP. That means the 10 gigabit interface are up. So I'm able to see the 10 gigabit interface all are up. So after that, it is good to configure the routing engine and a primary forwarding engine. So only things, you are not going to touch this primary forwarding engine, because it is mainly for setting the connectivity between routing engine and the primary forwarding engine, and mainly for this XC interfaces to come up. That is the reason we are connecting this, and also for the reachability. So now, after setting is, once everything is good, now what I'm going to do, I am going to connect PC1 and PC2. Okay, so PC1 I connected E3. Okay, so this one I connected, and E4 I connected to PC2. So in this scenario, if it is E3, you have to configure as XC-0/0/0. If it is E4, it is like -3, XC-0/0/1. 4 minus 3 is 1, 5 minus 4 is 2. So like that you have to configure. So you have to remove these three interfaces. You are not utilizing this. You are utilizing for some other purpose. That is the reason E3 is XC-0/0/0. So okay, let us now go here and let us see the configuration. Run show configuration display set match 192.168. So this one I am set, I already set the interfaces, set interfaces XC-0/0/0 unit 0 family inet addresses 192.168.10.1 I have set it, and for E4 I have set it like 20.1. Okay, so E3 and E4 I have set it. Now I'm going to assign the IP address to PC1 and PC2, and let us ping the both this PC1 IP from this routing engine. Okay, so for checking the reachability. Okay, so how we can do is, now let us go to routing engine. I already set the IP, go to PC, right? So go to PC1, go to the custom console, putty. Just do IP 192.168.10.2/24, 192.168.10.1. Okay, so now let us check the connectivity. Ping 192.168.10.2. I am able to reach. 10.1 is the gateway I configured. I am able to reach. Okay, and then also check from PC2. PC2, okay, check it out. Like IP 192.168.20.2/24 and 192.168.20.1. So now let us ping 190.168.20.1. I am able to reach, and let us ping the other end PC also 10.1. I'm able to reach. So the connectivity is successful. Okay. So now you got to know how to set up the VQFX. So what are the challenges I faced is, first of all, at the initial setup, I couldn't ping RE from PFE and PFE from to RE. So the basic things I saw that this interface I named it wrongly. So this I connected like Ethernet 0 interface. So always you have to keep it in mind. You have to always connect the E1 interface, okay, to VQFRS, because E1 is a basic interface they connected, and this is a default IP for this PFE and RE. So at any cost, you should not remove or delete this interface IP. Otherwise, the particular engine will not come up, and you will not see the XE interface or come up. So this is the first challenge I have faced. And the second challenge, sometimes from RE, I couldn't ping this particular remote IP. Okay, 169.24.0.1 IP. So in that scenario, I have done. So we have to either manually we have to reboot this, or we have to reboot this. Any of these engines, you try to reboot and try. So automatically then once in a position, you should be in a position to ping both this reach. You should have the reachability between the routing engine and a primary forwarding engine. So this is the challenge. And the third challenge is what will happen, right? Sometimes it will take more time to pop up these interfaces. I already told you, while doing a run show interfaces, based on your laptop CPU or memory thing, it will take some time. Okay. So this first it will come this basic interface like EM interface. Then I already told the second one is second sequence, this will come up, and the third thing XE interface will come up. So this XE and this interface sometimes will take like more than 10 to 15 minutes, and in some machine it will take more than 15 to 30 minutes. Okay, so that it will take depends upon the laptop capacity. And also prior to that, also check your VM thing. Okay, so the VM settings you have to check like this. Go to edit preferences, and like check the GNS3 VM and check the RAM. Okay, so it should at least minimum you set like 8192 MB. Why? Because what happens sometimes, if the RAM capacity is low, your VM RAM capacity is very low, what happen if you are doing a start engine, it will throw a memory issue. It will throw it not start the engine because there is no sufficient memory to load the routing engine or the primary forwarding engine. So these are the three challenges you have to keep it in mind while setting up. So once you set up all the basics connectivity fine, so it will be easy to set the interfaces, and this XE interface will come up. Okay, so only these are the basic things you have to keep it in mind. First thing, you check for the RAM for both routing engine and the primary forwarding engine. It should be more than 1000 MB. Second one, check the adapters. Number of adapters is 14 here, and here is number of adapters is 2. And here the adapter type is para virtualized network in routing engine, and here you set it to default value. Don't change anything. And the fourth thing is you have to check the reachability between primary forwarding engine and the routing engine. And this interface IP, please don't delete. So in case we are deleting also, you can again reconfigure this Ethernet 1 interface. Okay, and these are the basic things you have to keep it in mind while setting up the VQFX. So these are the images for primary forwarding engine. J install VQFX is the image for this primary forwarding engine, and for this routing engine this is the image. Okay, so these are things you have to keep it in mind. So I hope you enjoy this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more videos. Thanks and have a good day. Thank you.